Apromore is an advanced process model repository and therefore has the ability to model processes from scratch. The process mining part is of course very much an important part of Apromore, but on the other hand, we can create BPMN models from scratch. We call this human-centric design. It starts with a blank canvas, and from here you can easily create your own process. And as you can see, it's easy drag and drop functionality that I can add and therefore create a BPMN process. We have all the functionality of a modern process development environment. We can add activities if we want to and just place them on the arrow, and we're changing the process in a very easy way. Now there's a couple of things where Apromore is a little bit different. We have seen in the market that when supporting a digital transformation, the standard BPMN notation by itself is just not sufficient. Companies want to have the ability, besides modeling their processes, also modeling their digital transformation, modeling their mobile applications, modeling their process architectures. And to do so, we have some properties that we can overlay on the BPMN notation. We find these by opening the property panels and going to attachment. Here we select a task, and from here we can add an image to that particular task. We go to image upload, choose a file, get my screenshot, and now it's attached to this particular activity. As you can see here, I can put URLs, I can link text and other things against this image as well. Now to show this image in the picture, I have to enable that. And as you can see, once I've enabled that, I can see these pictures popping up in my BPMN model. Once I move the task around, you'll see the image will move with it. So that image is connected to a particular task, and I can now start supporting my digital transformation. Also going into a different task, I can link this back to different things within my organization. I can link it back to particular procedures or particular SharePoint pages, or even I can link it back to my risk and management system by just putting in a URL and giving it a name. So what happens now is this is just like the picture connected to my activity, and I can click on that link and go to my procedures, go to my risk management system. I can basically go to any page that I want to. So this will connect the BPMN model that I have to the wider organization. Now these models can either be modeled from scratch using a human-centric design, or they can be discovered through the process mining engine. We can bring the process architecture together by using pools and swim lanes, and of course activities, as you can see here. Now what we can use to make this more attractive is using the overlays that we just showed during the process design. I can go to accounts and deposits, for example, open the properties panel, choose an image that I want to overlay, and now it's connected to the accounts and deposit subtask. Now what happens when I show all the pictures? What the end user will see once this process is published is a high-level process overview, a sort of bank on a page scenario where they can link through the different value chains in that process architecture. You can go from home lending into the particular home lending part of your organization. Look at the different parts and go to manage fulfillment and then link that back to a process. Now, of course, this can be a process that you model manually, but usually what you want to do is have a data-centric approach and the discovered processes, link them back into your process architecture this way. Of course, I can also link this to a process, but I can link this to a customer journey map as well, as you see here. I've got my customer journey map ready, I've got the different steps, and I've linked this back to particular parts of my process. So now I've got the complete process architecture linked together, coming from a high-level process architecture page, going through the different levels of my process architecture, linking it back to a process that is discovered through process mining, but also having a customer journey map where I link the different parts of the process to a particular part of the customer journey map so that the two worlds are linked together. Once the customer journey map has been designed, we're going to link back the processes that we discovered through process mining back to that particular customer journey map. A customer journey map by itself is based out of stages, and normally you wouldn't connect the complete end-to-end process to a customer journey map. So first of all, we need to find which part of the process we need to link that back to the customer journey map. To do so, we change the perspective. So we switch to stages, and in this case, we want to have all the steps that are related to the approval process. I use my filtering to get the process to look at just how we manage approvals. From stages, I go back to activities, and from here, I switch to BPMN model. What I can do now is save this as a BPMN model. So I'm not going to call this loan origination as is, but I'm going to call it approval steps. I'm going to put this in the folder name demo loan origination, and as you can see here, we can include the simulation parameters. The next step in this use case, we're going to talk about digital twin. This is a very important part for digital twin because what we can do is we can include all the parameters that we discovered around cycle time, duration, and frequency into the simulation model that we have. For now, we omit these parameters and we just click OK. When going back to the portal, we can see we've got a process here called approval steps. We've also seen that Apromore has a fully fledged suite for modeling, designing, and enhancing business processes. So I can change the business process, give it the look and feel that I need/want, right? But for now, I just leave it like this. I go back to my customer journey map. As you can see here, I overlay the PNG file that are coming out of the customer journey maps that are created by Photoshop. And now I'm linking that, I'm overlaying that on the process itself, and I'm going to link the approval step back to the process we've just discovered. To do so, I've got the approval step here, I'm clicking on the plus sign, and then I'm going to find that part of the process that we just created. So what we're seeing here is the process approval steps. That's the one we want. Now, we can have multiple versions of the approval steps process. There's a fully fledged version control of all the process model in the Apromore repository. What we do for now is just that we want to connect the latest version. So whenever there is maintenance or the changing of the process is coming through the process mining, we will always connect the latest version back to the customer journey map. It's not that customers are looking at maps that are old and not maintained. I'm linking this back, and now I've got this linked to the approval work step. This is how we embed the process mining, the process discovered processes, either in the process architecture or back into customer journey maps. Back to the discovered process model to get a quick overview over the digital twin. Apromore uses its unique simulation capabilities to create a digital twin of your organization through the discovered process. As you can see here, we got the process discovered from our claims management system. We spoke about this and how this works in the other use cases. What we can do now is switch to BPMN model. This will give us the BPMN model discovered through the data, through the log file that we imported. Of course, I can use the arcs to give it a different complexity, to have more loopbacks, to have more arcs in the process itself. Once I've chosen my complexity, I then go and download this BPMN model. So what I can use this for is the digital twin. Now the digital twin will become my as-is process. So what we're trying to achieve here is to get a digital twin of how my current process is running. Now when I save this as a BPMN model, I've got the option here to include simulation parameters. This will include and will give me the case arrival time, the cycle time for each of the activities, the resources that I have on the process, and the gateways modeled according to the case frequency going through those different gateways. So when I click OK and I go back to my portal, I will see that I got a claims management digital twin process. Now this process here has got all the simulation parameters that we need. So I can open up the properties panel, go to simulation, and I can already see that everything that I need here to run a simulation is propagated. Now I've got a process here with 20 tasks in it. So I can do this manually. It will be doable. If I'm looking at a mortgage process, for example, with over 200 tasks in it, and I have to do this manually, it will take me weeks. Because what's happening here, it's not only the inter-arrival time that I've got the duration of all the tasks in my process. And all of this information is coming from the log file. So what we're having here actually is a complete round trip from process mining, process discovery, into the digital twin with all the parameters that we need, and we can see we're going to bring that back into a log file and a dashboard as we start simulating the process. We got the timetables here that we discovered. So we discovered a 24/7 timetable. We got all the resources. So we found all the roles that are working on the process, from finance manager, operation manager, product manager, and we got the number of resources here that we have for each of these, and the cost per hour that we defined for each of these resources. We also see that all the gateways are set to be performed. So basically what I have now is a process that's ready to be simulated, to give me what the process would look like and how the process would perform. Using our process modeling capabilities, we extended the process, added pools and swim lanes, and as you can see, at some places we connected it back to our procedural instructions that we can link to straight away. We can do that for financial hardship as well. What we can do now is actually, with the parameters that we got from the log file, we can start simulating the process. So to do so, we click on simulation and we simulate the as-is process. So we got the data from the log file, we generated automatically a BPMN process with all the simulation parameters. And what we're doing now is actually running the simulation. So I click save, I go back to the portal, and what I can see is that I actually created a log file. This is the same log file as we see when we upload data logs from systems. So we can do the same investigation on this log file as we would do otherwise. But more importantly, if I right click, I can go to Launch Dashboard, create a new dashboard, and what I see now is the Simulation tab. The Simulation tab's got the simulation parameters related to A, case duration, 2.67 weeks, B, cost, so what does it cost me on average to run this process, $855, and if I scroll down, very importantly, resource utilization. And as you can see in this process, the product manager is heavily overutilized. Now this is where things like automation scenarios come in. How can we help the product manager to perform his task faster and more efficiently? We can do this by adding a bot. And as you can see here on the same process, we added a verification bot. The verification bot will get all the information that the role needs, that the product manager needs to verify the claim. So the product manager doesn't have to go to different systems anymore to get all that information. It has it at hand and it can do its task much faster. As you can see here as well, we put the verification bot in a parallel situation to the actual role itself. So the bot is supporting the human. We can put them sequentially as well and let the bot do all the work. We can tell the simulation program how many bots do we need to deploy before the bot itself becomes a bottleneck. And again here, we can run that simulation on the new scenario. And we click save. We go back to the portal and we see that we have now an as is and a to be. If we select them both and we right click, we launch the dashboard, what we will see is that the two scenarios will be put next to each other and we can start comparing the improvement that we just created. We can see the as is, still 2.6 weeks, and we see that the to be is much faster. We can also see that the cost is going down dramatically from $850 to $386. The product manager would be a very happy role at the moment because the utilization for product manager went down from 97% to 23%. Whilst solving this bottleneck, we sort of created a new one where the claims manager was just about around the right utilization is now heavily overutilized. So by solving one bottleneck, we actually created a new one that we need to have a look at. And this is how repetitively we can use to be scenarios to create an oversight on how we improve the process. Hey Siri, how many violations are there for the segregation of duty policy?
There are 4 cases that violate the segregation of duty policy. Would you like for me to text the case numbers?
Yes.
One sec.
Apromore is a full suite of products that support your digital transformation. From process mining, process discovery, process optimization and analysis, all the way to human-centric modeling, building your process architecture, supporting your customer journey maps and linking them back into your enterprise via linking them back to your processes that are always up to date using process mining. Also having an open API for you to introspect Apromore using mobile and other technologies.